In this video, we will explore a piece of Singapore's earliest history, a place that was once considered by many to be Rumahku Syurgaku, a common Malay phrase which translates to my home, my heaven. However, Tanjung Kling has undergone a transformation and is now known as a shipyard area. Let's delve into the history of Tanjung Kling. Originally, Tanjung Kling was a coastal village that emerged during the early 19th century. The area was primarily inhabited by the local Malay community and was renowned for its fishing and coastal activities due to its strategic location at the mouth of the Sembilan Straits. During high tides, the Tanjung Kling Island would protrude from the low ground of the mangrove swamps at the mouth of the Sungai Peropok. Sungai Peropok is situated in the Jurong area of Western Singapore, and a section of Boon Lay Road traverses over it. It was believed that a police station was already established in Tanjung Kling by the year 1896. Nevertheless, Tanjung Kling remained isolated and could only be accessed by boat or jungle trails until the 1930s. After the Second World War, the Marine Police had set up a substation in Tanjung Kling, which shared space with the existing police station near the fishing village. According to a police sergeant who was interviewed in 1952, the residents of Tanjung Kling were people who had been relocated from Kampung Glam but were originally Orang Laut from the Riau Islands. During the 1930s, the former fishing kampung in Tanjung Kling had a population of approximately 500 people, but it dwindled to about 300 residents by the 1950s. A newspaper article from the 1950s period claimed that the village had around 300 Malays, 3 Chinese, and 10 Indians. The roots of Singaporean cinema can be traced back to the 1960s with notable figures such as P. Ramlee and the influence of the Shaw Brothers studio. During this era, several films were shot in Kampung Tanjung Kling, such as Bujang Lapuk, Kembali Seorang, Taufan, Doktor, Matahari, or The Rape of Malaya, and A Town Like Alice. There are many versions of how Tanjung Kling got its name. A map drawn in 1844 from a survey by John Turnbull Thompson clearly shows the name Tanjung Kling and a small village called Kampung Tanjung Kling. Carl Alexander Gibson Hill, who served as a curator of Singapore's Raffles Museum in early to mid-1900s, believed that this 1844 map is the earliest documented use of the name Tanjung Kling. Gibson Hill's notes in the 1954 street directory stated that the Tanjung Kling is said to contain the body of the Nakhoda, captain of an Indian trading vessel who died as his boat was passing through the strait about 125 years ago. Muhammad Amin, who had worked as a gardener at the police station for 20 years, explained that the grave belonged to an Indian Muslim merchant who had sailed in a tongkang. He stopped at Tanjung Kling to repair his ship where he fell ill and died of fever. Amin further explained that the grave became venerated before the Second World War when a pawang, a person regarded as having spiritual and healing powers, received an alamat or vision that atop a hill was a keramat and he was asked to clean it. From then on, Keramat Tanjung Kling would regularly be visited by people carrying bananas and yellow rice, hoping their wishes would be granted. Just like Gibson Hill, many believed that Tanjung Kling was likely named after the Keramat or shrine located at the end of the Tanjung, overlooking Selat Sembilan. Kling or Keling refers to Kalinga, an early Indian kingdom that survived until the mid-19th century. The word Kling came to be considered offensive for the Indians in more recent times. There was even a public hearing at the Singapore Rural Board to rename the kampung to Tanjung Kalinga in the 1950s because of the pejorative connotations. The Rural Board Chairman E.V.G. Day noted at the meeting, "We do not, at present, know the origin of this name. There is a keramat, secret place, on the island, and it may be that the island derived its name from it." A website Taqwa.sg had listed the maqam or grave as the grave of a wali named Habib Sheikh bin Ahmed bin Nuh al-Habshi, a relative of Habib Nuh, but there is no archival evidence to support this claim and no source is given. Sembcorp Marine, an engineering company in the offshore, marine and energy industries, which had operated the shipyard for many years, announced in 2019 that it would close the facility. This meant that the Keramat is now completely inaccessible to the public. Another rather intriguing suggestion on how Tanjung Kling got its name is one that links it to one of the many fascinating tales of the Sejarah Melayu, the story of Badang, a 40th century champion of the King of Singapura, whose strength was legendary. His reputation had reached the shores of Kling Kingdom. This prompted the Raja of Kling to send his strong men to Singapura to challenge Badang. The challenge, which some have described as having taken place at Tanjung Kling, hence its name, was won with ease by Badang. The champion of Singapura was not only able to lift a huge stone that the Kling strongman could only lift to the height of his knees, but Badang was also able to toss it, as the tale would have it, to the mouth of what is thought to be the Singapore River. There is suspicion that this stone was the Singapore stone that once stood at the mouth of the Singapore River. Tanjung Kling began its transformation into an industrial area in the mid-20th century. The development of Jurong Industrial Estate starting in the 1960s brought rapid industrialization to the region. The growth of the estate and the establishment of Jurong Island, an integrated petrochemical and petroleum hub, greatly influenced the development and landscape of Tanjung Kling. In the late 19th century, Tanjung Kling, along with the neighboring regions, witnessed the establishment of rubber plantations. The rubber industry played a significant role in Singapore's economy during that time, and many plantations were set up in the surrounding areas, including Tanjung Kling. As of the year 2023, Tanjung Kling remains a marine port. In July 2023, it is under construction, involving the installation of a cofferdam and the reinstatement of 4 shore structures.